Coming up, we have your August 2024 Las Vegas real estate market update.
Hey everyone, I'm Steve.
And I'm Kristen.
We are the Townhomes Group with Real Broker, your local Las Vegas and Henderson Realtors, here today to bring you your August 2024 Las Vegas real estate market update.
Yes, and we have some exciting things to talk about, which is some new inventory coming on the market, the luxury market, and of course, I think what's probably on everyone's mind is what's going to be happening with mortgage interest rates as there's some potential Fed rate cuts coming up. So let's get into it. All right, so we'll start with single family home sales. The median sales price was $480,000. We were up 1.1% from the previous month and up 6.7% from the same time last year.
I was just going to say, isn't that like right at the peak of where
we are almost there? I believe it was either 485 or 482 was our peak. So we are almost back at the peak, which is pretty wild. And the fact that we're continuing to see, price appreciation despite our inventory increasing, which we'll talk about in a minute, it's pretty telling.
Yeah, in one of the highest interest rate times ever.
Yeah.
Ever. But, recently.
Yeah, definitely not ever, but recently, yeah. So sales, there were 2,145 single-family home sales last month. That's up 2.5% from the previous month and up 5.1% from the same time last year. So sales are remaining really strong, which is interesting. I think our pendings were actually down, but it means that we had less cancellations than we did this same time last year.
Well, you and I got this wrong, right? So if you follow our market updates, regularly, last month we predicted that we were going to be having
sales going to be down.
Yes, this month. So hey, what do we know?
Yeah.
But I have a little theory on possibly why there was less cancellations than.
Let's hear your theory.
Interest rates dropped.
Yes.
Right, quite heavily. We saw the interest rates hit the lowest point they had in a year.
15 months. Yeah.
Right. So a lot of those buyers, I think a lot of buyers do cancel because not our team, we give you great education, but other people, I guess, don't do the due diligence.
Yeah. Where the lenders don't educate.
Hey, it's a teamwork. It's a team effort, right? And we all make sure that before we write an offer what your payments are going to be and stuff. And people, we see it all the time. They just get far into the transaction, it's going to close, and then they're like, oh shoot, we can't afford this. But then those interest rates dropping so much, brought the affordability back a little bit.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really, really good point. I think that's a great segue into, I know I've had a lot of clients reaching out talking about this potential Fed rate cuts that are being said that might start happening in September. So the first thing I would say to realize is that they might be happening. We don't know. The second thing is they might not. Yes. The mortgage interest rates are not directly tied to when the Fed cuts rates.
Right.
Sometimes, like what I think we're seeing right now, the anticipation even of a rate cut can make the mortgage interest rates go down, which is what we're seeing, which is why we've dropped to about 6.5%.
There's a lot of variables.
There's a lot of variables.
Unemployment rose.
Unemployment rose. So that's why they're thinking that they're going to be doing a rate cut. But I do think it's important for people to know that they're not directly linked, although they do tend to trend together.
We've mentioned this before, and for those of you that might be joining us for the first time, thank you for watching. If you're wondering, how do you track mortgage rates then, right? Follow the 10-year Treasury. That is going to be your best guideline as to what's happening with interest rates. Because if you go back and you lay the chart of the 10-year Treasury over the last 20 years over mortgage rates, you'll see that kind of those peaks and troughs and those spikes, they follow each other identically. So keep your eye on that. They have been trending down, pop back up again a little bit. So, we'll see. I think this is overall really, really great. Did you mention the inventory?
No, we're good.
Okay, we're going to get to that. So maybe that's a good point for us to kind of
Let's really quickly, before we move on to inventory, let's talk about pending sales. So pending sales are down 6.7% month over month, up. They're about the same as last year. But this is kind of what we saw the previous month where the pending sales were down. But then when we actually get to the number of sales, they rose or were about the same. So we'll see what happens next month.
Yeah. I think I was wrong last month, so what do I know? Don't listen to me.
Wrong.
But I think we're going to have another good month just because of those interest rates. Because again, don't forget we are only looking at those properties that just closed in July. But now the majority of the closings that are going to be happening now, I believe.
This will be in 2 months, probably. We'll see the numbers.
I think we'll see. Oh, so when we're doing our September.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But it's promising for like a very strong fall market for sure.
Strong for who? Who do you think? Buyers or sellers? Or both?
Well, I think both. I think as we head toward a balanced market, I mean, it's both. Let's talk a little bit about inventory and then we can assess a touch more. So new listings, there was nearly 3,000 new listings, which is up 5% from the previous month and up 26% from last year. And I just read a statistic somewhere that the Las Vegas metro market has the biggest increase in new listings year over year. Now, that's not saying inventory, new listings.
New listings. Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think this is just a guess. I think that there's been a lot of people that have owned their homes here for quite a while, like maybe like empty nesters. They've raised their families, their kids have moved elsewhere. Now they're moving closer to be closer to their kids, but they don't put their house on the market when interest rates are really high because they don't want to pay high interest rates, and they don't put their house on the market, more importantly, when there isn't any inventory to choose from wherever they're moving to. And I think, you'll probably see that inventory is increased, around the nation, and in some places it's heavily a buyer's market. So obviously, depending on where you're moving to, I think that just, kind of general outlook as people have said, look, there's more homes coming on the market now in Florida or Texas or wherever they're going, and now they see that the market's still doing well here. It's just a timing thing.
Yeah.
Also, as well, the last thing I think is the time of year. Like people just generally don't go as heavy like right in the middle of the summer as they usually do. But I guess this year this has proven that kind of different. So that's just why I think that there's an outlying factor that's creating that exodus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess. What do you think? Let us know. All
right, let's talk about inventory. So what effect is the increase in new listings having on inventory? We are seeing more inventory. We're up 12.6% from the previous month, and our inventory is up 31.5% from last year. Mm-hmm. Now, we still have very, very little months of inventory. We're still sitting at 2.2 months of inventory, which overall heavily favors the seller. But I think what we're seeing is, and I feel like we say this all the time, in like popular areas, like nice homes that are presented well.
School zones.
Yeah, high-ranked school zones. Those areas are moving really, really fast. We're also seeing there's other pockets where, sellers are being unrealistic. I see it probably the most with like investors trying to sell off like former investment properties where they haven't touched it up. They haven't done anything really to prepare it for sale. They've overpriced it. I feel like that's a lot of the inventory that's like stagnant and sitting. It's listed by a property manager, which...
Yeah, we'll just leave that there.
Yeah, we'll leave that there. Just talk to your agent and they can tell you why we're laughing about that. But so, it's not priced well. It's that's what I'm seeing, at least out with our inventory. So inventory is increasing, which is great. But still, we are still seeing multiple offers on like those super desirable, and even in the luxury market as well, right?
Oh, the luxury market, they just had, have a guess, how many dollars in sales did they close in the luxury market? Or we closed, because we closed quite a lot last month.
What are you asking me? How many?
How many?
Last month in Las Vegas. Oh, I have no idea. Luxury is anything over $1 million. I literally could tell you 250 million.
171 million.
Okay.
Which is like basically a record.
Yeah.
And the average sales price of the luxury homes is reaching a peak as well.
And that's interesting because we define the luxury market as home sales over $1 million. So you think as the home market's appreciating, like more of like your kind of middle class homes are creeping into $1 million plus. So the fact that the average sales price of luxury homes is still increasing when these guys are like kind of pulling the average down, that's really impressive.
So I heard someone, actually I was playing golf last week and I got paired with a couple of older guys. And one of them said, what do you do? I said, I'm in real estate. And he said, well, why wouldn't you be in real estate? He said, there's 2.4 million people here. There's projected to be 3 million people here in, however many years. So this is a growing city. I said this before, and I talk to people all the time about this. It blew my mind when you and I drove here in our car from Michigan. Yeah. And I'm like, what the heck? This is an internationally known place, but there's land available. The
growth of the city. Yeah. And I think we discussed this before, but just how Las Vegas is diversifying. There's the proposed like movie studios. There's a proposed tech park going in the Southwest. It's changing.
It's just
not a one trick pony.
It's for, but people that are sitting, at home, wherever they're watching this market update from, that aren't here, that maybe don't really have a good understanding of the area, really don't understand.
Yeah.
You just don't get it.
Yeah.
And what you will find is, I would say the majority of people, and I can only speak for our clients, they love it here. And, the weather, they always comment on the weather. It's hot, yeah, of course, a few months of the year, and then it's great all year round. I was just talking again with my golf buddy and about, you can't wait to actually feel cold playing golf again, so you get everything. It's an attractive place to be. Cost of living as well, right? And then when we look at the average sales price here of a home comparative to other major cities around the world, around the country, this is still very, very low.
Yeah. Yeah. Great points all around. One fun fact that I wanted to mention before we get into condo and townhomes, because we were speaking about new development. There is a ton of new development going in around town. Neat one coming up in Henderson, where the old Fiesta Casino was. So that got sold to the city of Henderson. The city of Henderson put out surveys to the residents and said, what do you want? People wanted like a fun, like family entertainment complex that's working on getting developed. They have a developer,
that's cool.
Which is really cool.
What sort of fun?
I know, I guess like sports stuff, like laser tag, bowling.
Oh.
Yeah, which is really neat. And we already have the Lee Family Forum as well.
That's right.
With like little concerts and the Silver Night. So that's really neat. Also out in Henderson, across from Lake Las Vegas, Pulte is still working on developing another master plan community out that way.
So can we just talk about how big Henderson is? Just really briefly, because people probably don't, again, know how big. Like, you were just telling me about how long it took you to get to your clients in Lake Las Vegas.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I live in Henderson, in Green Valley, which is like the very central part of it. Yeah, and it took me 30 minutes to get to their house in Lake Las Vegas.
Summerlin is only 30 minutes.
I can get to Summerlin in the 23.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because, so that the downside of Lake Las Vegas is there's not an expressway.
Lakeview Parkway's a little slower and stuff, but
anyway. Yeah, so lots of new developments going on, and we'll keep you updated on new stuff as it emerges.
Yeah, I think that whole where that new development, that whole area is definitely changing.
Yes.
Something as well that's definitely changing is downtown Las Vegas.
Yes.
And Kristen and I and our team, we hosted, or Christina on our team, should I say, hosted, and all of our team were there, an event at this project called Midtown. Now, can I just talk briefly about this? Because I think this is I want to share a few things that people might not know about. And for anyone that's listening that's wondering, where do we put our money and what type of real estate are we going to be buying? Well, we're going to be buying a property at Midtown. And one of the reasons that we're going to be buying property there is because we met the developers, and we've been working with the developers for a little while in helping them, promote the property and bring sales and stuff. But when we met them on a personal level and actually started learning about them, it really changed my perspective on everything. First of all, it's just two ladies who come from the concrete, glass, and steel industries. And they were responsible for basically supplying all of the steel and the glass for Fontainebleau. Resorts World, like big projects in town. But this is their first foray into being developers themselves. And what they've done is they've literally sold their houses, their cars. I mean, one of the developers living in a high-rise, right? Yeah, like downtown, and they've bought 4 city blocks, and they're going to completely change the downtown Las Vegas area.
The arts district, not downtown.
The art. But people think of downtown Las Vegas, right? And she said to me this. Wayne said to me, she goes, people think stinky.
Like downtown, they think stinky,
right? Because let's face it. Let's be honest about it. There's parts of downtown that I wouldn't want to live. But when we pulled up at the Midtown project and that whole area, my eyes were open, and then I started seeing this vision of which they're turning it into this classy, stylish, modern,
trendy.
It's completely different, right? So this is first and foremost something that they're doing like that's completely new. They're changing an area and a big part of a city. When you think about like New York City, they got a Midtown. When you think about other major cities around the world, they have a Midtown or something similar, right? A kind of equivalent.
Yeah.
We've never had that here, but we are going to now. The other thing is, like, what's absolutely blew my mind is how fast they constructed this project. Right. Listen to this, you guys. If you're buying a 2,500 square foot single family home anywhere in town, how long is it going to take you, Kristen? You're a new construction expert.
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months. These ladies built the English Hotel and the Pepper Club in 8 months.
Yeah. And you think like a residential house is wood framing. These are steel ass.
Steel and concrete. An amazing building. And I mean, these are kind of like design in there. It feels like the Cosmo. It's like it's cool. Funky, it's trendy, it's definitely new level.
They know their target demographic, which is like young professionals, and they've nailed it.
They absolutely nailed it. So just want to talk one little thing about it, right? First of all, English Hotel. What about nights per average?
Oh yeah, they get the highest average nightly rate in all of downtown.
So $350 a night.
They know what they're doing. They're affiliated with Marriott, so
yeah, it's a Marriott affiliate, right? Yeah. So I mean, these guys are the top level. And the other element of this is what Kristen and I haven't quite decided on what we're going to purchase is, in part of this project, there's going to be a Condo-tel, which is a hotel, right? Operated like a hotel, but you actually own the insides of it. Right, and you can put that Condo-tel into their rental program. They will manage it for you. Their fee, they haven't dialed in all of the the details yet, but basically the cost is going to be extremely low. The HOA fees are going to be like 2/3 the price of any other building in town. So all of this these positive factors to me show that this could be upward price pressure here. And one investor just bought a whole floor of the Condo-tel, right? So these are selling. It's where Kristen and I are going to be putting some of our money next into this project. Highly recommend that if you are an investor, if you're not, like, if you look at this, like, take a look at it.
Young professional looking to move to Vegas. I mean, if you're like a doctor, we're trying to definitely grow our...
Nobody can build a building like these ladies have done at the cost. This is another thing. I mean, as you can tell, I'm excited, right? I've been excited about something like this for a long time because the last building as well was built 20 odd years ago. That's another factor, right?
Right, yeah. Like the condos here, quite frankly, the high rises and mid rises, they're dated. Yeah. They're dated. Yeah, so it's super exciting.
Let us know if you have any more questions. Christine is our expert all on that, but I just wanted to give you guys a little insight and a little tip so that in a few years we can say we told you so.
Yeah, yep. Let's get into condo and townhomes, and then we will wrap up. The median sales price was $296,000. That's pretty much the same as it was last month, and up 8.2% from the previous month. And with that, we are over the peak, the COVID peak, pricing wise. There were 619 units sold. That's up 2.3% from the previous month and up 1.5% from the same time last year. It was kind of the same thing when we saw the pending sales. We thought closings would be down, but there must have been fewer cancellations this year to last year. So same thing with pendings. Pendings are down actually 11.2% month over month.
Single families up?
Single family was down 6.7%.
Oh, okay.
And pending sales are down 13.8% year over year. So I don't know. I think we'll see a little dip in the number of units sold, but maybe not. Maybe there'll be less cancellations. So stay tuned. All right. Let's move over to new listings. So this is interesting. New listings were down slightly from the previous month, but they're still up 20% year over year.
It's creeping.
It's creeping. Yeah. Is that having an effect on inventory? It is. Inventory is up 8.3% month over month. Whoa. Oh my. What do you think it's up year over year?
195,000.
Yeah, you're close. It's up 70% year over year. Yeah. But, you know, we're still in a seller's market for most of the valley. We're at 2.4 months of inventory for condo and townhomes.
We'll see if, you know, if the inventory keeps increasing next month.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hope it does.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I hope it keeps increasing now until
we get to it. Yeah, until we get to a balanced market, you know?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, because I think when, you know, whenever people ask you, like, is the real estate market doing good? You know, it's like, what does that even mean, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you were a buyer or a seller, there's a lot of variables in it. But anyway, we brought a lot of info to you this month. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, if you're thinking about moving here, if you are in town, you're thinking about selling, upsizing, downsizing, we would love to help. You can find out all of our information on our website, thethomasgrouplv.com. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, really appreciate it if you do so. We have a team of experts that create content all about living in Las Vegas on all sorts of different real estate opportunities. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you again.
Bye.